Ty2 is in fact some other well-known player.
All right.
And here we go into the game. At the top left position is the brown Terran. We will have SPX. And at the bottom right, as the purple Zerg, we will have Ty2.
All right. Nice cross positions. So slightly more distance between them, which is always, I think, it's better for the Zerg, right?
I mean, it definitely helps against like the early marine pressure, I guess. So you don't have, maybe you can get away with building like one fewer sunken or something, or not freak out as much. But later on in the game, I don't think it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, probably not. Interesting what they're going to start with, because this is the last round of the preliminaries. So every game now really matters to everybody, right? So
yeah, definitely.
I mean, you could try to pull some crazy staffs and shenanigans, cheeses maybe, at the beginning of this preliminary stage, but right now, I don't know. I don't know if anybody would want to risk that.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing to keep in mind is like, even if you're, let's say like relatively high in the standings, like between 15 and 20 or whatever, so you're pretty sure you're going to get a spot. It still matters for the seeding. Because actually, I guess the tournament bracket, so it's probably going to have some form of seeding. I don't really know exactly, to be honest. I don't know if it's been decided yet. But, we're not going to have, like, the top, 2 players from the end of the prelims play to the first round, right? That wouldn't make much sense. So there's going to be some kind of seeding. So it's still definitely better to try and win the games even at the end to improve your ranking. So you don't have to, go up against Eon Zerg first round or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. And also at the same time, it's good practice, right? You do want to get good practice until you're getting to the final round of 32. You would want to at least test your opponents, know more or less what the strengths and weaknesses are. So if you go for something very cheesy, you probably won't figure out much, while playing for the longer stage of the game probably gives you a better understanding of how they're going to play later on.
Yeah, that's true, and it's just good practice for yourself as well, I guess. Play some macro games. Just get that extra game time in. In the meantime, not seeing anything too fancy. 12 hatch from the Zerg and what's almost certainly going to be 1 racks into expand from our Terran player. The drone is going to see that right on time, though. He might even be able to be annoying and block this command center a little bit. Well, it is a marine ad, so it's not gonna block it too much, but gonna do what he can here.
Yeah, and funny enough, we see that the SCVs are still waiting a little bit, trying to find out where the Zerg is. We can see that both players are being relatively careful at this stage. You're probably gonna drop the command center at the top if he doesn't scout. Okay, now the Terran knows probably what the Zerg is going for, so he's probably gonna be more going and drop it on the lower ground.
Yeah, gonna see the exact timing of everything. Gonna know it's a 12 hatch. Gonna see the 3rd hatchery as well. So he's got complete information, as you said, so he can safely build the command center here. And that just means we're gonna see a pretty standard macro opening from both players.
Yeah, the SCV should probably. I'm looking at the SCV thinking that probably the Zerglings that were made like at the natural they're finishing right now. Probably would have been better maybe to start them a little bit earlier so that the SCV would die relatively soon. And keeping it alive there is definitely not something TY wants to allow.
Interestingly, he made only 2 Zerglings. This is interesting. I mean, this is something that happens a lot, like in ZVP, where you go overpool and you only make 2 Zerglings to chase the pro. In ZVT, I feel like I usually see 4 to 6 lings initially, but he actually went for drones. He has made a 2nd set of Zerglings now. Maybe this might be part of it being cross-map, as you said earlier. With the longer distances, you have a bit more time to make those extra Zerglings just in case you need it. And of course, he did scout the fast expand anyway, so I guess he feels safe doing that. So a nice little economic adjustment there in the beginning. And we do have the lair started, which is spotted as well by this SCV.
Oh, and the Zergling is going to scout, going to figure out that this is indeed a natural expansion. Probably going to try to get up the ramp. Is he going to get up? Whoa! That's actually pretty big for TY. Finding out everything that's on the main by the Terran, and even maybe scouting this academy, is going to really tell him exactly what timing he can expect.
How the heck did this thing get up? I was like watching the Zerg base and not paying attention, and like when I click over here, a Zergling is just like already up the ramp when there's like 5 Marines here.
Because the 5 Marines were actually going around trying to find out maybe an overload, and he only left 2 Marines. right here. He even tried to block with a few SCVs on the ramp, but unfortunately was slightly too late, so it allowed the Zergling in.
I see. Very interesting. Wait, that is a den with no spire. Oh my god, we're going for lurkers, ladies and gentlemen. No 3-hatch Mutalisk here today. 3-hatch lurker rush coming out from TY. Very interesting build, huh?
Yeah, I don't really know exactly what... Because don't you want to be a little bit out on the map when you're actually finishing your lurkers? Because otherwise you're only defending the natural, and the turn basically gets full map control.
Yeah, he might try and counteract that by making a few extra earlier lings. You can also see he's completed the first Sunken very, very quickly. When I scrolled back here, I was wondering why the Sunken was already finished. You know, typically you see them leave it as a creep colony until they actually need it, but this is obviously to help block the scouting SCV. And now we have the Marines coming down. He's gonna have to build a few extra Sunkens here, and probably a few extra Zerglings. But I mean, you know, he would have had to do that anyway, even if he was going for Mutas. I don't think the Mutas would have been quite in time for this, maybe barely. So, you know, even seeing these extra Sunkens, the Terran's not gonna really know too much here. But as you said, the problem will be that if the Terran like sort of leaves his Marines out at the front, Lurgos aren't really gonna have any way to get through them. So they're not gonna really be able to put on any pressure early on here. And he's gotta be careful not to reveal them, I think. He's gotta be careful not to show the Hydra. The Hydra should move back a bit.
There was a scan already on the natural, so the Hydra is already revealed.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so SPX actually scouted right before the Marines were arriving, and he actually scouted that in the main there was nothing, and the Hydra was at the natural, so most likely he knows already that this is Lurkers. The question is, when you know that, what are you exactly trying to achieve from this point on? Because if you can contain like this for a few minutes, you basically deny the third for such a long time that it's very difficult, I think, for the Zerg to actually get back into the game.
What's interesting to me also is sometimes, you know, you'll see Zergs actually make a fake Hydra den when they're going just for Mutas anyway. And obviously the Terran can only scan 2 of the bases, not all 3 locations. He can't scan the Terratry. Okay, now he definitely sees the Lurkers. But, you know, sometimes there can still be a little bit of mind gaming going on. But anyway, so Lurker's going to slowly push these Marines out. I mean, the Marines can't do anything here, but they can definitely delay. You know, when the Lurker's on borrow, you can maybe move in and try and snipe one. That's why you actually need to keep a decent number of Zerglings nearby to help protect the Lurkers against that kind of thing. Looks like a drone also trying to sneak down here. Oh, and here we go. Gonna go clean these up. Oh, only gonna catch one of the medics though. Very good micro here from SPX.
Oh!
And just gonna go up the ramp here. But you see, he can still delay this third hatchery by quite a bit here. And this is very, very annoying.
There's a second force actually going to the third, which is actually pretty cool, because that basically means that once the Lurkers try to go up, they're still gonna have to face that secondary army.
Oh, there's the big stim in, there's the scan. There's already one Lurker part in the back though. Ooh.
That could have gone a lot worse for SPX. He's still not stud, so far this is doing pretty well.
Oh man, he gets the drone.
Yeah.
Oh.
SPX. The man with a plan.
That was actually a bit of a mistake from TY. Really should have left the drone at the bottom of the ramp until he knew that the forces were cleared from the top here. But SPX, even though he lost all but one Marine, he did get so much value out of those units. I don't think he killed any of the Lurkers, but he killed a bunch of Zerglings and delayed this third expansion by this third base rather by quite a long time. And if you compare the timing of this base compared to what he would have had if he went for Mutas, that is way, way, way later.
Yeah,
so
at the same time, he's getting the spire is up right now. It's going to be started to be like it's at 20%. So we definitely, I feel that he's going to use it only for scourges, but right now he's still got a decent amount of gas. But that's because the lurker count is actually quite low.
Yeah.
So he has to be quite careful about where he puts his gas from this moment on.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Interestingly, we already have a bunker at the top right here, and we've got double E-base going already. Did he actually finish +1 attack already? Oh no! Oh, look at this, look at this! He went for +1 armor before +1 attack. That's a deliberate response to the Lurkers. The thing is, if you have +1 armor, sorry, what I should say is normally Lurkers take 2 shots to kill a Marine. You see 20 damage, and the Marines have 40 HP. But if you have the +1 armor, they actually take the 3 shots. So getting the +1 armor is actually better than +1 attack. if your opponent opens lurkers rather than Mulus. Of course, against the Mulus, it's better to get the attack because they're just going to be like one-shotting individual Marines down anyway. Oh.
One tank. Oh, is it gonna live?
Oh, the lurkers are stopped though. Oh god.
Yeah, it's actually a relatively smart thing to do at this point because with those Zerglings, it seemed like there's nothing there because nothing was attacking. So SPX, if he doesn't wait for a vessel, he might get caught by those lurkers.
The first vessel is almost done though. I think he actually missed just an unfortunate placement of these lurkers. If they were like to the up and right a little bit, I think he could have just unstopped them and killed a bunch of stuff. But as it is now, I don't think he's going to get anything from them because the Marines are already running around on the map. And unless he can somehow scare them all the way back, he's not going to have them run through that lurker field, unfortunately for him. The first vessel, the first vessel is out now. The only thing he might gain is if SPX isn't paying attention and just sort of A-moves the Marines over the lurker field, he could still kill a few. But I don't think it's going to be too effective.
It shouldn't be as good, definitely, but we will see to that. Now, the one thing that I really like is that because SPX has a mobile army that's actually, it's not too big, but it is still a threat, TY is going to have to constantly look at 2 locations.
Oh, he's not bringing the vessel! He's not bringing the vessel! But the positioning isn't the best! I cannot believe that still worked. Oh god. He just did not expect those to be there. It was actually so good that those lings went there earlier and just basically baited him into this and like, yeah, there's totally nothing here, you can walk over it.
Although, I have to say that 3 tanks is starting to look a little bit scary.
Yeah. That's obviously one of the very effective methods of dealing with lurkers is just to get a bunch of siege tanks. Sometimes you'll even see Terran players, if they see a lurker opening, they'll just go 2 factory siege tank, which is just really, really good against that. I guess it's more if the opponent's going for like Hydra lurk, you kind of need the double factory siege tank pump. But either way, that is a lot of lurkers really fast, obviously saving all of the gas that would have been spent into mutas and just making lurkers instead. So you got a ton of lurkers, and these are really beefy. See, the difference between the mutas and lurkers, obviously the mutas are there just for harassment and to buy time, but the lurkers actually you can use to straight up fight. And here we go! He's going in the front! Lurker's borrowing. He needs them a little bit closer to the tanks. I think he's borrowing half of them at the front. Half of them are going forward, and he does take out a decent chunk of units, but he's run out of the Zerglings. Is he going to keep going? No, he's going to preserve his lurkers.
Oh, and even irradiating already, so I have to say though that SPX like micro is not going too well, but I think at the same time he does have a pretty high production rate. He's got 3 factories and 6 barracks, so if he can, he's just used like 700 minerals in a second, so I don't know exactly because the hive is finished and the defiler mound is finished and consume is like 10%, 20% done, so SPX unfortunately has not been able to do actually anything with his force.
But SPX is expanding faster than the Zerg. His 4th base has just finished, and the Zerg hasn't even started a 4th base yet. Like that was the point of this super early bunker, I guess. He just planned to go for this super early extra base, and TY doesn't know about it. He has absolutely no idea. Even though he's got unity, he could very easily just run this little army up and just go kill that, or just, like force it to lift. But he just has no idea. That's actually so smart. Oh, Azurigan's going up there now. He's gonna be really confused. Like, what?
But
why is there a bunker up here?
It should die. It should die. It dies. So I mean, it could be an expansion or it could be nothing. So like you don't know because there's just a bunker and turret, which is the weirdest thing in the world. Usually, I mean, one bunker is gonna stop pretty much nothing, right? So it's he does know though. Yeah, he's going to go there.
He's gonna go check. He's like, wait a minute, something fishy is going on here. Now I like that the first minefield has been laid right outside the natural. Of course, the Terran doesn't quite have the map control yet to lay mines everywhere, but just laying some defensively so there's no crazy backstab going on. Nice, leading out, taking down the first 2 defilers. Really, really nice.
Oh, that hurts a lot. That hurts a lot. Now, to be fair though, I'm looking at the base from SPX. He's got double armory. He's producing from 4 factories now. So he does seem like he wants to transition to a more kind of like mech style, but he still has the barracks at location.
Yeah, I guess because he can't afford to lift them all yet because he doesn't have the infrastructure to start mass pumping the mech units. You can already see even though he kept all his buildings landed, he's still floating up to 2,000 minerals. I think it's just a macro issue here is that he really wants to do the full mech switch. It's just he doesn't quite have the time because you can see now the Zerg is starting to move out. He doesn't really have the map control to just do the big barracks float. But looks like very, very chaotic engagements here. Random vultures and tanks fighting random lurkers and links. I don't even know, like, all these Zerg units are just all over the place here. Very, very uncoordinated.
Well, there's 20 lurkers on the field right now, so that's that should be chaotic. I mean, you can't control 20 lurkers at the same time. That's just not. Well, I mean, if you're Savior or Jadong, maybe, but now the interesting thing for me though is that TY is taking more expansions. At least for now, SPX is actually allowing that to happen, even though he has a massive army. And that's probably something that might later on actually bite him back.
Oh, 3 defilers gonna get taken out here. Oh, never mind. Oh wait, they might get mine.
Mine. Oh, and more vultures.
The suicide vultures. I think that's worth it though. Like a control group of vultures for 3 defilers is definitely worth it.
When you have 3,000 minerals, yeah, I'd say it's worth it.
Oh god, he does have 3,000 minerals, man.
I mean, I can understand it with 4 bases. That's now look at the. He's now starting to add more factories there. If he has like 4 more, yeah, he's just adding a good amount of extra factories.
I think he should actually lift these barracks though. It doesn't look like he's building anything. Every time I go back and click them, they're not building. But ooh, grabbing some nice science vessel hits here with the Scourge, while the main army comes forward. So TY, very importantly, keeping that vessel count low, but unfortunately not quite having the army to hold this position. He wasn't really doing anything here anyway, so it's not the end of the world that he's losing these lurkers. It's not like he's going to lose a base from this, but not really keeping up. Where is the Hive Tech, though? Has he... Or, I mean, most importantly, where are the Ultras? Obviously, he's got the defilers out, but...
The Den is finishing now, so it's not even... Like, you don't have speed, you don't have the armor, so...
Yeah, he is getting dropped, though. That's good.
Yeah, that's definitely good. We've seen, well, who was it? Flying, I think, who basically used drops to avoid all the mines on the center.
Yep. Very, very good tactic. But the thing is, like, the Lurker Link, while it was, good early mid-game, once the mech army gets rolling, it's just gonna get blown up so fast. You gotta get some Ultra Link going in there, Maybe throw in a few Guardians for fun.
Yeah, I mean, now we see SPX is expanding again. And his money actually went down really fast, but I don't know exactly what he's building because, I mean, he had a lot of money and he was pretty much maxed. Now he's maxed. He's still building from both factories and barracks, so he's mixing it up, which is something I think a lot of people. It's very difficult, I think, to control both bio and at the same time mech.
Yeah. I completely agree. I think if you can do it, it's actually, it's pretty strong. Because you have both the, really high-strength mech army and the really mobile Marines that can just run around and just reinforce wherever's weak. Although in this case, it looks like unfortunately going to lose a few tanks to the units in the Dark Swarm. But yeah, it looks like SPX gonna actually keep these 6 barracks pumping. Interestingly enough, and keep a decently sized Marine force. By the way, he's basically maxed here against a 135 supply Zerg, so he's doing pretty well on the supply count. Gonna get a bit of a delay on this expansion, but that's okay. Meanwhile, we have a double expand here from TY, actually taking both side expansions. He actually realizes, I think this is actually a smart move, because he can't let the Terrans split the map with him, because the mech infrastructure is already on the way. So he basically end up in the late game, mech deathball split map situation, which is almost impossible for Zerg to win unless he's ahead in the game.
One thing I really like, although it's a little bit weird, but I really like it, SPX is actually still upgrading his bio because he has such a high income that he's even though now he's lifting his barracks, he's still even upgrading the Marines that he has, which it doesn't seem like it's the most efficient thing to do, but at the same time, if you do have some of these Marines... Oh, a drop going to the 4th of SPX.
Oh man, it looks like 7 Overlords are coming in. Meanwhile, SPX for some reason is actually claiming the middle base here. I don't know if he's actually going to expand there anytime soon, but oh man, he's already got a lot of anti-air prepared for this drop. I don't know if he saw it already or he just knows that it's coming, but here we go. The drop is going a little bit higher, but the Goliath getting a lot of shots off. This is going to be a horrible, horrible drop, I think. A few of the units do go down. There's one Dark Swarm, but the Marines simply back out of it. The Ultra's armor upgrade is actually finished, so it's like barely taking any damage from these Marines. The Goliaths get taken down, and this is actually being way more effective than I thought. I mean, there was so much defense here, and yet the drop is successful.
Well, the Marines didn't actually stim and run in and try to catch the Overlord, so they weren't actually shooting until the unload was finished.
That's true, that's true. A little bit late there on the stem. Meanwhile, some reinforcements finally coming in here, but losing some of these buildings. Looks like just going to lose one factory and some of the turrets for his trouble, but crucially, it keeps the... Oh man, I thought this was a drop to the left side. It's just a barracks, Jesus. Crucially, it keeps the two side bases untouched for now.
Yeah, and I have to say though that although this drop didn't actually do much, even if he would kill like that actual mineral economy line, that doesn't really matter with 6,000 minerals and 2,000 gas.
That's true.
I mean, you can rebuild it. You can actually rebuild it by the time that you're starting to run out of money.
Oh my god, that is so many minerals. I mean, to be fair, he's maxed, you know. So.
Yeah, so why not?
Yeah, but this is kind of funny. Oh, it's also funny that that one ult, just at the bottom right, actually killed all of the Marines thanks to its armor upgrade. It had 18 kills before it finally died to a siege tank shot. I mean, if you think about it, that thing has, I mean, it's got +5 armor, right? And it has 1 base armor, so 6 armor against the Marine shots is no joke there. They're
yeah, and
he was like 2 damage each.
He was actually doing 1 because at the time he only had +1 attack on the Marines.
Oh god, so. 1 damage per Marine shots was so sad to be those Marines. And another mini drop here at the top right. Again, even if these drops don't do a ton of damage because there's units now, it's basically keeping SPX on the defensive. SPX, the only position he has on the map is this middle area that isn't doing anything for him, basically. Because the side expansions are completely undefended, and he could just send 1 vulture to each of these bases to shut it down. I mean, to be fair, they're not mining yet, but still.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I find quite interesting is that the drops that TY is doing, since he's doing them all the time in the same place, I think that's actually going to be bad for him because he's losing a lot of money, and at the same time, if he kills like 1 or 2 factories and suddenly SPX thinks that he doesn't have enough factories, he can just add like 10, and suddenly you can't outmax him.
Oh, the vessels! Vessels in the middle of the map. Are we gonna get one more? Oh, the Marines! Help it!
Yeah.
Oh. Yes. 3 vessels down for free in the middle. Nice move there, and now a bunch of Ultra Link coming in here. There's a big minefield, though. If they actually attack into this, they might lose a lot of these Ultras. Oh, man, taking a lot of hits. Mines do so much damage, but Ultras also do a lot of damage.
That was a good explanation.
Oh, man, and the Ling's coming in for cleanup as well. These poor Marines, they're doing their last stand. Oh my god, it's like Starship Troopers.
These Marines,
kill them all!
I don't think that SPX care about those Marines. The problem is that right now, it's actually 170 against 170 supply. And even though right now, TY, oh okay, attacking at the 12 o'clock, TY is actually starting to make some headway.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was kind of on SPX, because SPX had like a 70 supply lead at one point. He maxed out. The Zerg was on 130, and he didn't really attack or even harass at all. Like, SPX has been on the defensive pretty much the entire game, even when he was winning. Yeah, he made like a small attack at the 9 o'clock position at the left side just now, but that was very, very easily cleaned up. And other than that, look at this. Zerglings at the top right natural as well. The 12 o'clock is lifted. He's gonna lose a bunch of SCVs here. I don't even know where the units are. Okay, finally some tanks coming in here. The command center is actually under attack. He's gonna have to start repairing that.
It might die.
Oh man, if he doesn't notice that that's burning, that's going to be really bad for him. He actually did make another command center here at the 12. Actually, I don't know where this command center went. Oh, he's floating it down to the middle, so he is actually going to take the middle base. But another attack coming in here to the top right. A bunch of irradiates going down, though. Everything is irradiated. He should just run these ultras into the SCV line. The command center finally is being repaired, so he does take care of that. And a spore colony at the left side, just for fun.
I don't know exactly, because SPX has been doing a great job, but I think at this point he's a little bit lost of what he wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's winning the game anymore. He's got a ton
No.
of money banked, but he's got very little gas. He should actually probably put one extra guy on the top right gas. I don't know if he realizes he's not fully mining the gas there. But he's in a little bit of trouble. I think the best thing to do now is just to start spamming Vultures and do a ton of Vulture harass, because that's all you can really do with the minerals. He already lifted most of his barracks, except for these two in the main queue. So just make a bunch of Vultures, you know, just do drops or just run around the map, lay a bunch of mines. I mean, Vultures are so cost efficient when you lay the mines, but more vessels gonna go down. Never mind. There's like 8 scourge into one vessel.
To be fair, it does look like he doesn't have any gas, but if you check his factories, some have like 3 or 4 tanks queued up. So,
oh, God.
A drop on the armor is actually in the main, and a drop on the depots. Nice, that's actually pretty good. If he gets a secondary plague or even attacks it, those depots are gonna go fast quick.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the greatest use of plague. I mean, he could have at least plagued the other armor and killed that one. That would have actually been really good. He would have stopped the 3-3 from finishing, but, you know, it looks cool. It is what it is. Meanwhile, another attack going at the top right.
He's gonna plague again? Maybe the tanks? No! The same ones, dude!
Those will actually burn down now.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's a genius. There's 2 SCVs here, but they're not going to repair.
This is the new meta, like start dropping and start plaguing depots.
He actually just killed 6 supply depots with a Defiler.
And actually supply blocks, SPX.
Oh my god, he's a genius. I can't believe that was actually good.
Well, another drop actually to the main, but there are like 25 billion vessels in there, so...
25 billion. At a rough estimate, that is how many vessels there are there.
Yeah.
Interestingly, the Dark Swarm actually gets placed regardless, but it looks like all the units die, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I think when tanks have +3, I think that Swarm basically becomes almost negligible because the splash deals so much damage that it doesn't feel like anything is under Swarm.
It's true, that's true. The Lurkers are only protected once they actually burrow, but if you just immediately kill them before they burrow, it's gonna be good. And oh man, the Eraser on the Lings! No, Lings! Don't go near those Lurkers!
Queens! No! At the middle! No! Don't die!
God!
Don't die! Oh. Oh. TY.
What the hell?
Just plague depots and now you the queens.
He got 1 Broodling off from those 4 queens. I assume they all had energy for Broodling, but he only got 1 of them off.
Yeah, he wasn't actually paying attention to them, unfortunately.
Oh god, and now SPX is actually going to kill this left side base, I think. Oh
yeah.
man. TY, what happened? Dude, the Queens were no good. A bunch of loaded overloads going in here, but they could all get irradiated. Oh god. Oh god, unload them, just unload them, man, just unload everything.
It's actually quite tricky to unload them now because everything is still gonna get irradiated.
Oh god, Scourge coming in though.
Oh, Scourge just blew like 24 of those 25 billion. So basically we're down to 3.
Nice. We're down to 1 billion, which is approximately 3 science vessels in the Cat's Paw School of Mathematics. But,
yeah.
wait, so let's get a count of the resources though, okay? Because the Terran's only mining now from the top right 2 bases. He's got a command center in the middle, but that's not mining yet. And the Zerg has a tiny bit at the 6 o'clock. The bottom 2 are pretty much fresh. And he's got the 3 o'clock. So it's basically like 3 and a bit bases to 2 right now. So TY, even though he lost the space, is still doing okay. Now, he doesn't quite have the bank. He doesn't have the 6k bank that the Terran has, but the Terran, obviously, the minerals aren't actually helping him that much. He can't really use it. The mech army being mostly gas-heavy units. I'm still waiting to see a big plague on all these mech units, though. All we saw is a plague on depots.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, oh, there's one. 4
Hey!
tanks. That's a plague-oo, but not a big one. Not yet.
We need a bigger one.
Yeah. No. Don't go through those mines, man. Ooh.
Oh, does a nice mine drag at the end at least. Gets a little bit of damage off.
Yeah, but it's still not cost efficient. I mean, at this point, if SPX can basically start pushing down to those 2 other bases, and then at the same time take the one that TY is retaking right now at the 9 o'clock, that basically puts us TY at no, like, very small income.
Yep, and the 3 o'clock is now about to get sieged down. Where's the main army? Interestingly, is not going to defend that. He's just going to go engage the main tank force. And the tank force doesn't have that much defending it. Oh my God, he should drop the. Oh, is he going to drop the lings on top? He should absolutely drop the lings on top. Oh man, come on, bomb them. The lings, the ling bombs, the lurker bombs, the D-Matrix bombs.
And that didn't work. Well, I mean, it should have worked. The Matrix was actually on point. So, yeah. I mean, the 6 o'clock is still mining, and for now his PX is letting it live because he's probably too focused on pushing on the other side.
It's actually got a lot more drones now too. He could potentially lose a lot of these drones if he doesn't notice that the tanks are there. Meanwhile, more units coming in the front of me using that Dark Swarm.
Oh.
It's so funny because for a while it looked like TY was the one that had control of the game, and then suddenly TY now is sort of barely scraping together enough units to hold off the tank force. He is actually cleaning up a few tanks. No, not quite. But now, look at this. 3 o'clock, all the drones are going to fall. Oh man, there's so many drones.
And there are actually 3 queens in there that could at least, like, brooding. Oh, there we go.
Oh god, the drones.
Yeah. Okay, for now, this game is actually stabilizing a little bit, but what you mentioned is true. SPX is running out of money right now. With 8,000 in the bank, but...
I was gonna be like, wait, what? Dude's got almost 9,000. Even if he stops mining for a while, I think he'll be okay. He's actually got 2-gate gas as well, which is pretty scary. And the Vestal Cloud is a little bit serious. Now, we're going to have an eraser here maybe at the bottom left, or is he just scouting around? No, just going to grab some defilers and call it a day here. The 3 queens at the right side rather, are doing pretty much nothing useful at the moment. I don't think he should make any more queens. A random Ultralisk, though, is going to kill all these tanks in the middle. I think a lot of them were plagued or something. Oh man, this Ultra, super baller, except I don't know why he ran away from this tank. Get it! Ah, it doesn't quite get the last tank.
Okay, so one more base is actually going to go down for TY, it seems. And yeah, that basically leaves them at 1 mining base. With 200 minerals in the bank, so...
This is bad times for the Zerg player. I don't know what happened here. I don't know how he ended up in this situation from the one, you know, dropping in all the bases, plaguing the depots, and now it's just super poor. I mean, I guess this is just the strength of the late game Terran. To be fair, SPX did get his 5 bases really, really fast, and thanks to that, you know, he had the bank, he could afford to take some losses. Because the usual problem with the mech switch is if the Zerg starts being really aggressive and hitting you right when you're making that switch, is, you know, it's really hard for you to actually, you know, get the macro going, get the big death ball going, and keep all your bases safe at the same time. Because obviously it's really hard to get all your mech units over to defend against all the drops. But because he managed to basically go straight past that, he could just, you know, go into this late game unkillable mech play.
Yeah, I mean, I think another problem was that when he was actually doing all those attacks, he wasn't starting to saturate his economy on the new bases. So he actually had for quite a while 2 bases that were completely, like, they were ready, but they weren't mining.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Now, to be fair, you know, to your point earlier, yes, he's still got a lot of money banked, but pretty soon, SPX is just going to be mining from the 12 o'clock base. So you never know, man. If TY can somehow drag out this game for another 20 minutes, the Terran could actually go broke.
Yeah. And especially if he keeps using things like, for example, drops and those queens at the 6 o'clock, I think he could manage to win this. It would be a pretty long and tedious game, that's for sure, but it's definitely doable.
I didn't even notice all these queens. He's even got a random Ultra down here. He needs to find this guy. Ultra, stop hiding, man. Come on, dude, you cost like, you know how much you cost, Ultra? You're like 200 mils, 200 gas. Go do something useful. Jeez. This Ultra's like my cat. It's just like sitting here being completely useless and sleeping. Ugh.
I mean, to be fair, he probably saw what happened to all the previous Ultras and he was like, yeah, right, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh god, parasite detected. We have a parasited science vessel now.
That's really... Oh, the Scourges are going to get a lot of vessels. All of them? All of them.
Wow. Wow, that was a really nice catch. And there was no point parasiting that vessel because they are now all dead. That's actually a really good tactic, by the way, to do. Not only to parasite vessels, but parasite like a random siege tank or something, or particularly like against Protoss and ZVP. If you just parasite one Archon, because an Archon is so expensive. I mean, what's the Protoss gonna do? He's gonna like give you an Archon for free? That's so worth it, right? And if he doesn't, then you know exactly where his army is. So I think parasiting Archons is actually like a really strong play.
Yeah, I mean, you could really go crazy. Oh, a decent play. You could really go crazy with something like that. You could actually mind control a queen and parasite as a defiler, but overall, yeah, what I'm trying to say is that it's good, but it's only good if the player that actually has the parasited unit keeps it with the rest of the army. If not, I don't know if it's that good.
Yeah, well that's the thing, you have to parasite a unit that's so expensive that if they don't keep it with the army, it's still good for you, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like if you parasite a carrier or something, like, well, I'm not just gonna leave one random carrier just chilling doing nothing, because that's like such a huge investment wasted. And if I do that, then, your 100 value queen already got its money back if it completely disabled one carrier or something, or one Archon. Anyway.
I think one thing that what you can always do is harass with that unit. Then that's kind of like the best option.
That's true. You can just like drop with it or something.
Yeah.
Actually, if you put a parasited unit inside the dropship or a shuttle, it doesn't provide vision anymore, does it?
I think it provides like the minimum vision of a unit or something like that. The same thing as bro. So maybe Backer, you can tell us.
Okay. Yeah. Backer, if a parasited unit is in a dropship, does it give you vision? Oh my god, that's so interesting. I actually have no idea.
You know what we just did? We asked Becker to basically go into a game and try it.
Pretty much. I mean, he's like the one guy that would actually do that, right?
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, that's not nice from us.
Whatever, man.
Okay, so.
Good.
Oh, do you want
EMP! He EMP'd the queens! He only got 3 of it. He got 3 out of the 5 queens. So 2 of them still managed to broodling, which was actually really effective because it's the brood!
Oh, that explosion, man, that was so beautiful.
Oh my god, he got 3 of the queens EMP'd, which was really nice, but the 2 that got through did an amazing mind bomb. Oh my god. I mean, that's pretty much the best possible situation that broodlings can hope to achieve, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, another parasite like Goliath?
Oh,
I mean,
god.
I'm starting to think that if TY keeps doing this, he might actually win this.
This is actually insane. Oh my god, somebody actually in the chat pointed out TY only has 130 APM as well while he's doing this. That's actually insanely low considering he's using queens as well. Oh, man.
Well, he does have a massive force that at his natural that is basically idle, so it's, yeah, with that it's you can see that limit from the APM. Now the queens are still there, and I have to say though, as long as the queens are not killed, they eventually will use their spells again.
That's true. That's true. That's one of the nice things about late game spellcasters like queens. Is it's pretty much like an infinite resource as long as they don't die, and that's why they get so strong when you get to those fight-out games. Oh! All right, he got 1, 2. He only got the middle 2 actually. The EMP radius is actually quite small, so he didn't actually get the edge 3. I think if he hit the top middle area, he could have got 4 of them. But nice move regardless.
Well, and actually, look at how many units is the Terran losing constantly to these swarms and a few Zergling. Like, it might mount up eventually to something. I mean, TY is still in an extremely hard position, but if he continues this, I think he can actually take this down.
Is this going to be like a 2-hour game where it's like broodlings versus EMPs?
Well, 2 hours probably not, but we're already at 38 minutes, so it could be an hour. It could be an hour.
Oh man, it's all down to the queens now though, because he has no money to buy anything else. At first I was thinking he should stop making queens because he had no money, but now actually I think it's the opposite. I think he should make queens because he has no money, and that's like the only way he can actually do anything is just the broodling stuff. Oh, but he's doing a good job swarming these tanks though. Yeah,
he's constantly getting a few kills here and there.
And he's running out with the Scourge. These Scourge are actually probably the most important thing because now that EMP is out, he really needs to take down these vessels. Oh my god, he might lose these queens on the left side though.
Oh no. Oh, no, he realizes. Oh, okay.
GG!
GG. Wow. I'm actually I usually don't like extremely long games because you can actually get really bored of them or tired, but I actually wanted to continue playing this game.
Oh man, TY, valiant effort, I must say. One of the few times I was actually cheering for the Zerg player. But, wow.
I mean, how can you not cheer for a Zerg that's using queens, right?
It's
That's
true. It's very true. Someone actually, Art of Turtle in the chat asks, can you parasite a mine? That's interesting. I feel like you can. I'm pretty sure you can. But what I don't know is, can you broodling a mine? I feel like you cannot. I
can you
think
wait, can you mind control a mine? I think
no,
so. I think no. I think no.
no,
Okay.
no,
I don't think so, but
no. There's no way. Anyway, moving on, we are going to have, oh, it looks like a ZVP this time. And it's
nice.
going to be Dragon versus Gem 5. Oh, man, this is going to be,
Ooh.
it's going to be a good matchup here. Let me,
Yeah. I have to say that I have, thanks to Gem, I've won PVCs that I shouldn't with his build, so yeah, I'm really, really glad to see any games of him. Oh, and especially at Neo Medusa, which is a map I have absolutely no idea how to play. So, really, really good for me.
Nice. Oh, Leadabot says, Mind Control, Lockdown, Broodling, and Maelstrom are ineffective against Spider Mines.
Oh.
Okay.
Strom, I kind of guessed, but
Yeah. So
yeah,
Maelstrom makes sense. It only affects organic
yeah.
units. It's interesting that Lockdown doesn't work against it, even though it's mechanical, I guess,
Wait,
technically.
hold on a second. Maelstrom works against everything that's like biological, right?
Yeah.
So why doesn't it stop like tanks and Goliaths and vultures? Because inside there's actually a human controlling them.
Oh, dude. It's got to be some kind of like shielding, right? When you're inside
Yeah, I
the
guess.
thing. You're like
All right, right.
some mental shielding. It's like you've got Magneto's helmet in the cockpit of a Goliath. I don't know,
Well, they
man.
have something on their face, like the
Yeah.
breather, you know.
All right. Anyway, this game, by the way, we're going straight into game 2 of the series, so we're going to be on Neo Medusa here. And Dragon is up 1-0 apparently over Gem.
Hmm.
So let's see how it plays out in game number 2.
All right, let's go. Let's go.